Hello everyone and welcome back to another Our Classics. This time, my chat has bullied me into doing the Inception of Custa with a Q. Because we're going back and we're watching the 2018 Stage 1 Dallas Fuel match versus the Shanghai Dragons. So this is when Dallas Fuel was like a hot dumpster fire and just really struggling after people anticipating they were going to be really good. This was one of our few wins that we got in the opening stage against the Shanghai Dragons. Well, I guess spoiler, but it actually went the distance. It goes to map 5, so we'll see how much of a match this was. And we can just enjoy going back in time and watching some of these names because I was looking at some of these names as we head into it, and there's some familiar faces. So as we go into this, I want to explain... Actually, let me talk about the teams and players first, and then I'll defend myself. Maybe we'll wait for the first Q press. So we got Shanghai Dragons. So this is the infamous Shanghai Dragons that went 0-40. One of the worst competitive loss streaks of all time in any sport or competition ever. Going up against the Dallas Fuel, who this team was anticipated to be like the #1 seed. And people expected, Dallas Fuel were the favorites to win it all. The team was composed of Envious, which had been the best Western team, or the best team in general, in Overwatch prior to the league forming, with the additions of myself, Seagull, and XQC. So this team ended up doing horrifically bad. We ended up being really poor. I think, in general, what happened is a lot of players had already peaked at this point, and a lot of players on the downhill, and especially with the coming together of all the best rosters. Am I the only player who's like tilted by this graphic? What is this graphic? And yeah, it just ended up going really poor. And I'll probably go into more details about what went wrong with Dallas, I think, as the series goes on. But I think it's an interesting watch to sort of go over, and we'll get to see my fat finger cues and just sort of talk about some of these players. So we're going to be playing very similar meta to what we just watched because this is like only weeks apart from the London Spitfire versus New York Excelsior stage finals. Teams are playing Mercy because you have the double res. Everyone's playing the Orisa Roadhog, so it's about pulled pork a little bit. So yeah, Seoul was another team that had those expectations and ended up being not very good. I think Dallas Fuel were dramatically worse than Seoul Dynasty were, but it still wasn't great. So one of the big issues that I think Dallas had in Stage 1 at the beginning of the season is we had the issue where we had too many players and trying to do too many things. We had our support... Oh, Dia with a big barrage. It's actually crazy to think of how far Dia has come. But, so we had 3 support players. We had Chipsogen, Harry Hook, and myself. All of us can play flex support. Myself and Harry Hook can play Lucio, but neither of us were great at it at this time. And Chipsogen was probably the best Zenyatta, right? But with Mercy becoming meta, it kind of created this like weird situation where we didn't really know what to do, and we didn't have great coaching as well in Stage 1 for Dallas Fuel. We only had Kai as the coach, and in the past, it felt like the team had been very self-run, but now you have more than just the 6 players. You can't really self-run a team where substitutions need to be made. Players need to be subbed in, people need to make decisions. So it really felt like everything was just kind of all over the place. We were going back and forth. Like, I think if you just look at the Stage 1 matches that we played, like, I played Zenyatta for like 1 match or 2 matches. Chipsogen played Zenyatta for a couple of matches. Harry Hook played Mercy. I played Mercy. Chipsogen played Mercy. We were just literally just throwing everything at the wall to see what stuck. And honestly, nothing really did. We found a little bit of success once we started doing stuff, but this is also the issue from a personal experience of coming into a team like this is I'm joining a team that is one of the best teams of all time with Chipsogen and Harry Hook. So it felt very hard to come in and replace either of those players. But things weren't working, so we were trying so many different things out. At this point, Seagull's the DPS player. Where the fuck is Effect? Why are we not playing Effect in this game? Effect is like dramatically the best player on this Dallas Fuel roster, but like they're playing Seagull because they wanted him to play like Junkrat or Soldier, but like if you think about it, why would you ever bench Effect? He's like by far the best player. So I don't really know why Effect isn't playing. Maybe they wanted the Taimu Winston, the Widow, but yeah, everything is chaotic at this point. Everything's all over the place. I think Coco's really struggling to play Winston at such a high level. We talked about it in our previous VOD reviews. Winston has been evolving and building for so long that Coco's Winston's really starting to fall out of favor. He's really the best at Reinhardt, like a hero that was played a lot in early Overwatch. Yeah, that's another big barrage by Dia. So all of these things are having issues. Plus, more than anything, there is a compounding effect of high expectations. Everybody expects this roster to be great, yet it's not, right? And then you add on top of that, like, other strains, like, so Coco Winston, I just said it's struggling. Good thing we have XQC, who's a great Winston player, but he kept getting suspended in the Overwatch League. Like, XQC got suspended for, what did he get suspended for? He had the comment against Muma, which was obviously bad taste. He then had the remark about the tryhard 7 remark. I'm not going to go in too much detail about those, but he got suspended for that. So he keeps getting suspended. So even if we wanted to play a lot of Winston, our best Winston player isn't playing. So we're kind of like forced to play certain things. That's why we ended up having the like weird situation with, here's what happened, okay? We ended up having this situation where Taimu going into scrims, I think this might be stage 2 where everything's fucked and we're just trying to find any solution. Stage 2, Taimu needs to take a shit at the beginning of scrims. So the scrims have started, but he's like, guys, I have to go take a shit. If I don't take a shit, I'm going to die. I need to go take a shit. So we're like, but we're in a scrim, like we need to start. And he's like, just work it out. So what we ended up doing is we moved Mickey, and I think I'm remembering this right, but we moved Mickey to Winston because Mickey's confident that he can do it, and Seagull goes over to Diva. And in stage 2, that's also the time that we've added AKM and Rascal to this roster on top of the players. So we now have Taimu, Seagull, Effect, AKM, Rascal, 5 DPS players for 2 spots. And remember, tanks are being played in excess at this point. So what happens is Seagull started learning how to play Diva and starting to play off-tank. So what we did is we moved Seagull to Diva, Mickey went to Winston because Taimu was taking a shit, and Coco wasn't playing anymore. After stage 1, Coco was like retired. He essentially said, I don't want to play anymore. All that kind of happened. I'm not going to go too deep into that as well, but Coco's out. So Sega, fucking XQC's suspended. Coco doesn't want to play anymore. So we need a main tank player. So we end up making this transition, and it ends up working incredibly well. Turns out that Seagull's Diva was really strong. And Mickey can play Winston, but he's like, I don't want to put time into learning Winston or like that. So we were like, well, why don't we just put Taimu on Winston? Taimu's got a lot of confidence in himself. He's like, I can learn how to play Winston. He tries to learn how to play Winston. And that's another situation where it's like, you can just listen to me tell that story, and you're like, this is a terrible idea. Like, why would you ever do this? Obviously, there's other things that have happened of suspended players. We got suspended players. We got players who don't want to play. Look at this team. This is the most boomed fucking team you've ever seen in your life. Coco wants to go home. Chipsogen's stuck on Mercy. Harry Hook's playing Zenyatta for whatever fucking reason. We're fucking freaking out. And it's just, we're losing to the Shanghai fucking Dragons.
And Shanghai just looks so much tighter on that run.
You know how the story plays out, as you said, Gaming King Striker. The Winston Taimu ends up just being a lot more difficult. You can't just learn Winston. We've seen that from so many different players who have tried to transition to playing Winston. There's so much nuance, and there's just such a huge learning curve that you can't just play Winston at the drop of a hat. So it worked short term. In the long term, it was terrible. And this Dallas Fuel roster, I think all these constant decisions, I think, in my opinion, the biggest issue that ever happened is, in Dallas Fuel, in hindsight, is we kept trying to apply band-aid solutions to big problems, right? Of like, well, shit, we have a player who keeps getting suspended. We have a main tank who doesn't want to play anymore. And we're changing our supports every week based on what we feel could be better. Honestly, if we just stuck to one roster, they just stuck to 6 players and was like, Coco, figure it out, okay? And we're going to put all of our resources into making you better. We don't have resources because we only have 1 tank and one coach. That one coach is having to put out fires left and right because the team's having internal issues. We got Effect coming out of DPS, which should just never happen. He's better than all of our other DPS players. We've been subbing players in left and right, all these kind of issues. And I think if we just they just went back to what they were doing and even just played the old core to a big degree, I think the team would have been more successful. But trying to shoehorn all these new additions and players, and then like also like trying to just sign Rascal and AKM with no real idea of how to utilize them, I think that really just hurt Dallas a lot. And I think this team could have been easily middle of the pack. And I think you see them really start to stabilize in stage 4. But prior to that, I think there was just too many things going on, a lot of issues, and that's what resulted in the catastrophe that Dallas Fuel ended up being. There was a lot of unforeseen things that no one could have ever predicted, you know, like the suspensions, like, you know, players losing focus or faith, or like just players who just didn't want to be in a season where you play 40 matches, right? And it was interesting. So that's my take on Dallas Fuel, right? Like, that's my insider. I'm a big advocate. I know people like doing leak streams and sort of like airing dirty laundry. I'm not going to do that. There's a lot of very interesting stories. There's some fucked up things that happen. There's some things that people say. There's some things that people did that is just not okay. And I think all those things should stay internally within the team. But there are things that aren't talked about that people don't know that also contribute to these facts. But overarching, those are the issues that ended up happening, right? And that's what led to this Dallas Fuel roster just being an absolute clusterfuck. And I end up getting traded at the end of stage 2. And I thought, I was like, man, they think I'm the problem. I get traded out of stage 2. I'm going to Valiant. I'm like, fuck it. Valiant's got a better record. The team's better. It's not blowing up like this is. Because they ended up, I don't know how true this is, but Kai came to me at the end of stage 2, and he's like, hey, and I actually agree with this trade that they ended up doing. Kai actually didn't say this to me in person. Kai calls me. He's flying to China for in the mid-season break for a personal reason. And he calls me from the airport, and he's like, hey, Valiant want to trade Unko for you. And I actually think this was a great trade for both teams, because I think I really helped the Valiant with, I think they needed a main support, they needed a Mercy player. And at this point, I think I had proven myself to be one of the better Mercy players, at least on Dallas in certain situations, and I was a caller and stuff like that. And Dallas Fuel desperately needed a flex support, like a Zenyatta player. I wasn't really very good at Zenyatta, Harry Hook wasn't very good at Zenyatta, and Chipsogen was the Mercy player. It was just kind of all over the fucking place. So I actually think the trade ended up being really good, but yeah, I was in the Dallas Fuel practice facility. I remember this. I'm in the Dallas Fuel practice facility, the only one there. I'm streaming. My parents are in LA because they came for the end of stage 2. My parents are there, and get a call, and they're like, yeah, we want to trade you to the Valiant. And I remember it felt like the worst thing at the time, but it ended up being one of the best things that ever happened, obviously, because my career ended up getting dramatically better. I found a team that I think I worked on a lot better. And I think it worked for Dallas as well. I think getting Unko as this flex support ended up helping them as well. So it was kind of interesting to see. Looking at the time, it felt like the worst thing ever, but looking back, it was one of the best things that ever happened. And that's the Dallas Fuel, and that's the story. That's my tea of Dallas Fuel, and I think what happened during this time.
Yeah, credit to Dallas Fuel though. Harry Hook.
He didn't get traded. I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have much success, and I have no idea where I would be these days if I didn't end up getting traded. So then let's talk about the Shanghai Dragons. Obviously, I'm not really talking too much about this game. This match is a fucking clusterfuck. You know, like it's just background noise at this point. It's just interesting to have on, but it's by no means the focus point of what I wanted to make this video about. Come on, this match is about, hey, we're watching, it's on, but I'm not sort of speaking to it that much. Let's talk about the Shanghai Dragons and what happened there. So Shanghai Dragons is another interesting situation, because obviously this is a Chinese team with a couple of Korean players, and they. How many players did they have? How many Korean players did they have? Let me go have a look at this. I want to go have a look at the Shanghai Dragons. So Shanghai Dragons roster. So this is the Shanghai Dragons roster during this time. Wait, where is it? This is probably it. I don't know if I can get like a good. If I can get a good, just like this was the roster in 2018. Maybe if I think this might be the best way to do it. So we had Otto, Damon, Dia, Gaguri, MG Zushu, Fearless Roshan, Altering 5 King, Free Feel, and Sky. I think some of these players came and went as the season went on. Undead is not listed on this list right here. So there are certain things that, like, some of these players didn't play, but you can just look at how fucking many players there fucking are. Like, there's so many players that the Shanghai Dragons roster had. They're a mix of Korean and Chinese players, which is relevant. And there wasn't huge expectations for this roster, but I think one of the big things that hurt them is it felt like their team and their coaches had a very interesting way of doing it. And I think this is one of the worst things you can do, especially in esports, is that this team played the most, practiced the most out of any team in the Overwatch League in 2018. They were there first, because we were all in the same practice facility. We're in the same hallway. We can hear them, right? They were there first, and they left last. There is, you know, rumors of, like, their practice regimes and their schedules and stuff like that, and I can probably attest to that of, like, they were just there all the fucking time. As a team that was struggling so hard, I think they were really struggling to get scrims, so they were scrimming anyone. They were scrimming North American, it wasn't even contenders at this time, but, like, anyone who could scrim them, because the best teams, remember, there's only 12 teams, the best teams don't want to scrim Shanghai Dragons, so they didn't really scrim very much, right? And then, oh, Seagull's feeding. Dashing off and suiciding. That's not going to win. The Shanghai Dragons can't get any good scrim partners. Funnily enough, Dallas Fuel also couldn't get many good scrim partners at this time. So Shanghai Dragons, Dallas Fuel, every time we had a blank block or we needed to find a scrim partner, we would message Shanghai Dragons and they would respond 100% of the time, yes. Every time we messaged them, no matter what time, whenever we needed it, we would message Shanghai Dragons like, we need a scrim. And they said yes. And I actually think that's one of the things that happened with Dallas Fuel as well, is the best teams just stopped scrimming against us. And this is something that isn't talked about a lot in the Overwatch League, is that when you're a struggling team, it's hard to find meaningful scrims and good scrims against good teams, because good teams don't want to scrim you. You're a waste of time in their eyes. Why wouldn't they scrim against better teams? So it was always hard to, like, find, like, a lot of scrims against good teams. So Dallas Fuel and Shanghai Dragons actually traded a lot of time just, like, scrimming against each other. And I think that's why, like, a lot of us learned, like, really bad habits and we weren't playing well. But Shanghai Dragons were just endless in their routine. They would leave at, like, midnight. They were expected to, like, play, like, hours and hours of ranked. They were at least playing, like, 14 hours a day. I think they were playing, like, 14 hours a day of Overwatch. And as anyone who has ever burnt out of something or done it, at some point, you're hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself by practicing too much. And I think that's what happened. This Shanghai Dragons team got burnt out. And then when things were getting worse, instead of adapting what they were doing or being like, maybe we need to change something up, they were just like, we just need to practice more. And that's really what felt like their solution to the problem was, if we just practice more, we will get better. And they ended up just getting worse and worse. The pressure starts mounting. That win feels even more elusive time and time again. I think if, like, let's say Shanghai Dragons beat this Dallas Fuel, right? If Shanghai Dragons beat us in this game, right? Obviously, that's terrible for Dallas, but I don't think Shanghai goes 1-39. I think if they lose the pressure of we are winless, I think they probably win 5 games in the season. 4 or 5 games in the season. They're still not going to be great, but I think that pressure is removed, that they've never won a game anymore. And I think that would make them, I think it would help them, like, dramatically. But because they never got that win, it felt like they were always under that pressure, and teams were always working to not be that team. Like, having Shanghai Dragons on your calendar, it wasn't like a, oh shit, we got an easy game, right? That's how I felt playing against Florida Mayhem, right? In season 1, I'm like, oh, Florida Mayhem, we have an easy game. Okay, that's good to know, right? It shouldn't be too hard, right? Which is funny because of stage 4. But against Shanghai Dragons, you're like, this is a landmine. This is a game that if we win, good, okay? We were expected to win. If we lose, it's the worst fucking thing ever. So going into a match against the Shanghai Dragons was terrifying because no one wanted to be that team to lose to Shanghai Dragons. Every time Shanghai Dragons went to map 5 against any team, it was an event in the venue. Literally every player all the other teams are like, oh shit, you seeing Shanghai's going to 5 right now. Everyone's like, oh my God. It kept happening against Philadelphia Fusion. I don't know how many times Shanghai Dragons went to map 5 against fucking Philadelphia Fusion, but it felt like 3. Because Philly's this great team that just couldn't beat Shanghai Dragons.
That's right. The ball is certainly.
Yeah, me too, Tamu. That sums it up. Yeah, and I feel bad for these players because I think they also were just put in a not a good situation to succeed. They had some like terrible strategies as well. Like, look at this shit. Undead's playing Ana. Oh no, okay, never mind. He's just throwing a grenade. Like, but also Shanghai Dragons had this terrible idea that they I don't know if it was this stage or stage 2 because we scrimmed against them a lot. We had a pretty good idea of what Shanghai Dragons were doing. They had, oh wow, we just lose the first point and we do lose. Like, just shit like that is why Dallas lost. It's like, how does this happen? So what ends up happening in this fucking, Shanghai Dragons had this, like, era where they were like, we're just gonna put all of our resources into Undead. They literally were like, we're just gonna play and pocket Undead 100% of the time. And they would just heal him. Everyone would surround Undead and they would hope Undead kills 6 all the time. Which, it worked from time to time because Undead was a good player, but obviously you can't just win a series time and time again, and it's just not going to work in the long term, just putting all your resources into one player. So yeah, it was a fucking time to be alive. Oh, wait, 1 second. This is I think there's a huge break here. What the heck is this break? Wait, did I skip a map? Or I think that was a break. Yeah, that was a holy break. Season 1 breaks. That was a 20-minute break in the middle. Alright, so we got the same play. Why is Effect not playing at this point? Like, I will say, Effect had a lot of, I would say, like, personal issues that I think really hurt him. And I think he was just like, he's one of those people that just puts himself under a ridiculous amount of stress. So when the team is losing so dramatically, I think it affected him the most. So maybe at this point he's just getting a break or something like that. But yeah, he was going through it at this time. So maybe that's why we're not seeing Effect being playing. But yeah. Oh, I don't know about that grapple by Tamu. Holy. Maybe Effect's in Korea at this time. There was a period where Effect did go back to Korea to just sort of like mental reset. This might have been during this time. It's hard to know. As I said, it's all kind of a blur at this point.
Finds a kill on Dia. And so that's a good start. 6v5 for Dallas here as they tried to defend.
First match, it said first match without Effect, right? So this might have been the time in which he went.
Undead though dies to Harry.
Because I remember this. I remember this weekend very fondly because this was the weekend, the first week that we had a 2-0 week. So we were pumped. Like, as Dallas Fuel, we go 2-0 in this weekend and we're fucking punching air. We like did it. We beat the Shanghai Dragons and the Florida Mayhem. It felt good to go 2-0 in a week, but we beat Florida Mayhem and Shanghai Dragons. A win is a win. Hey, you take those. Yeah, dude, Shanghai's just gonna cap it. Hell yeah, brother. Dude, it's crazy how bad the Dallas... Like, we're getting owned by Shanghai Dragons at this point. Hatrill's like tomahawks for everyone. Really? Like, we went to Morton's Steakhouse. We went 2-0, and we were eating like kings. It was like we won the championship when we had a 2-0 weekend. It's literally the meme, you know, where they're like, everyone's like, you're like drinking champagne and you're like popping off, and then it turns out you came like 3rd. That was us. Undead's kind of owning us right now. Let's be real.
There goes Roshan. So, free fill uses that transcendence after both the Mercy and one of his tanks are gone. I don't know about that one. They may have to back away here. They did get the kill on the Mickey, but they're going to need more. And yeah, that's a Zenyatta ultimate that I think.
We don't suck the most. No one can stop us now. Yeah, there was a lot. Ooh, wow, that was almost a very nice shot. It's kind of interesting because, like, you think about it, right? Undead was a good player. We know how good of a player Dia was. They had Fearless on their roster during this time, right? If they had just played Undead, Dia, Fearless, There's no way you're telling me that they couldn't win one game, right? Obviously, those players aren't who they are now, but like they were still good players, right? Like Dio got player of the game. What match was that, chat? Where Dio is the only player to ever get player of the match on a losing team. Oh, Fearless wasn't on that team yet? Yeah, Undead ended up leaving the team or getting kicked from the team because he became a dad or some shit. I can't remember what happened to Fearless, to Undead, but it was, I don't know. It was a fucking trip. He got like 3 different women pregnant. Yeah, it was something like that. As I said, I don't want to speak to it because I actually can't remember exactly, but people were pregnant. Undead was a dad. Turns out some gamers do fuck, yeah. See, that's what, you know, maybe that's the problem. You know, maybe if Shanghai Dragons didn't, you know, maybe if they were more gamer-esque and didn't have sex, they would have won more games. Thought about that?
The delay is crazy from Dallas, but now finally some control percent building here for Shanghai.
Coco gonna jump in, will take out Undead.
Dude, also this fight how long has this fight been going on for? This fight feels like it's been going on for a mortal age as they just fight on the point.
You really have to give a lot of credit to Dallas in that fight, I think, for delaying as long as they can, especially Harry and Seagull, not letting Shanghai really get all that much considering how hard they won that earlier fight.
God. I hope because I haven't uploaded the previous one where in my last video I asked how shit do you think Horizon Lunar Colony is. I hope the people who defended Horizon Lunar Colony are watching this one as well and just realizing how just heinous it was. But this is also just a product of 2CP more than anything.
See if he can. Seagull drops that Blizzard. That's going to delay even more. Nice right click on the MG actually with the ice pick. Harry Hook comes into the transition.
It's just people are dying, people are coming back to life, people are overcommitting, people are transcending, but nothing is happening. There's a lot of nothing going on. Diva bombs are also really good on this point because there's not a lot of good places to hide.
Here, but Dallas, for the moment, seems to have the advantage. Yeah, they'll continue to hold.
Harry Hook with it, last kill onto Dia. So not any more progress made for the Shanghai Dragons.
Whoa, altering.
Gonna die at the end there thanks to a powered
Luna overall was a cool map, but overall 2CP maps sucked ass if you couldn't stop for ages. Yeah, exactly right.
Teams, particularly the London Spitfire, like on defense on this second point because it does control the choke so well.
How often and quickly Roshan dies is truly next level. Hey, you know, no one does it like Roshan could. No, Roshan was a special player, a special beast.
Taimu as they approach the point. That's the kind of headshots you need if you're Dallas Fuel and you want to defend this one.
Taimu also in the back.
Dude, you remember this fucking moving pillar? Why was there a top side? Ooh, moving pillar.
All right, here comes Undead. He's got the tac visor going. Taimu needs to back off a little bit more. Gets those healing.
Oh my god, altering, where are you going?
Shanghai nearly has that second.
Do I play it all in this series?
To the point soon. That's going to be tough.
I don't know if I play in this series. Oh no, I did.
MG gets demeched, but
Of course I play in this series. That's the whole reason we're playing this, watching this series. Ah, God. I forgot that this is the match. For some reason, I was like, I wonder if we lose this series and I don't even play. Or like we win this series and I don't even play. And then I remembered that the catastrophe that's about to happen. You know what? I wish I was a bench warmer for this game. I wish I was, because then I wouldn't have to deal with the fucking... Alright, Shanghai Dragons finish the map.
Dallas really wants to shut down Undead.
Is there anyone from Dallas or Shanghai Van that you still keep in touch with? Not really. I talk to Kriv every now and then. Like, Kriv comes into chat and I've seen him around. I actually seen... Wow, that was a nice shot by Undead. I've actually seen Space around a few times in the last few weeks over the holidays. But... Yeah, Taimu, like bits and pieces, but like I'm not like friendly or anything like that where I like hang out a lot with. Oh shit. What? Can someone explain? Like let's just go through this thought process. Safe behind a shield, everything's good, damage boost, nothing to fear. Just walks out from the shield. Where are you going, bro? Space still in LA? I don't think he is in LA. I think he was just coming through.
Course of the ability to resurrect. Taimu still trying to peek around that corner and better walking in front of the Orisa barrier in the first place.
True enough. Now force off the high ground as Coco dives in. That's a kill on him though.
Yeah, Coco just dies.
And they're right back on the high ground one more time. Dallas having some real trouble approaching this one.
Now Seagull's on the high ground now as well. They are going to force everyone down from the
Dude, Undead's actually kind of popping off right now on the Widow.
coming in.
No kidding. Undead certainly winning this Widow duel so far. Coco
Dude, Undead is just a psycho. Just grappled onto the high ground.
the Widowmaker here, but Undead
This guy's like, pocket me, I'm going in.
enough.
I mean, Undead is playing this a little bit too.
Say Undead fucks, no, I would never. Well,
He's trying to.
literally, yeah. That's true. If anyone fucks, if we know anyone fucks within the Overwatch League, Undead is one of them, right? We are confirmed know that Undead fucks.
He sent to self-destruction.
In the server, he's okay.
Got killed by MG. Seagull down, brought back up again. So Taimu finally gets that kill onto Undead. We'll see if it ends up lasting. Dallas trying their best to make this push work.
I feel like that was a lot of commitment from Dallas to try and win a fight that I don't know if they can win. Dude, Coco doesn't even have Primal yet. He's just getting blown up. Oh god, that was Trance Valk Diva Bomb Blade.
Mistake there made by Shanghai, committing the nano boost. Dallas Fuel
Most sexually active AL player, yeah.
point. Only 5 members of
Baby Bay fucks. Well, Baby Bay did say he was fucking that one time. That's true.
Widowmaker slowly making his way back across the map. Dallas is going to have an opportunity to get a man advantage. Taimu is using the infrasight to help zone Undead out. Undead can't get to the point right now.
Why aren't they like pull? I guess they want to drop the tire as soon as the dive happens.
Pretty comfortable in the back of the point there.
Oh, free fill dies.
Coming through a narrow doorway. That is Junkrat's dream right there. But Dallas coming
Any tire enjoyers? Any? Whoa, okay, that's where we're gonna pull it.
sends it forth, trying to
Wow, Baby Diva Mickey just gets fucking blasted. Whoa,
and he kills him that one. No, not quite. But it does push Dallas
where was that? I don't know where Chips went for that, but that was my
their attack run. So already
4 out of 10 tire, yeah.
on the fuel side.
And there's no healers on the point right now from the Dragon. So Dallas Fuel
All right, Dallas, we're gonna cap. We're gonna do it.
Shan kill.
Yep, that's right. Dia down as well. So Dallas needs to take it right here, right now.
Nothing beats the Baby Bay story where he brings a girl home and she makes fun of him for living with a bunch of nerds. Wait, really? I haven't heard that story. I didn't even go made fun of him. Well, he is a nerd. He's a professional video game player and he lives in a team house with a bunch of fucking nerds.
Damage, but it's really the Mercy that is the one he's looking for.
Diaz coming back in on the Tracer. He's dueling Taimu on the side right now. Both tanks still up.
Think of Voss told the story? That does sound like a story of Voss would tell.
Members of Fuel out of
Wait, yo, Harry, why did Harry transcend?
inside that tiny
Oh, Chipsogen's 1 health. Actually, that was a good transcendence.
Fuel out and force the transcendence.
Oh, altering trolled. Oh, that was a throw by altering.
With a great opportunity down.
No, Custa never watches a Voss. I don't watch a Voss. I'm not gonna lie. I like spending time in a Voss streams, but I don't.
Get it.
When do you think I get time to watch a Voss? Every time he's streaming, I'm fucking working.
Late kill onto Undead could open this up for a big
Oof.
snowball from the Fuel. They still have the Valkyrie on their side. Dallas can push this immediately.
Not Custa asking why other people transcend in this game.
Taken out, that would have been a bummer for Dallas because that breaks momentum, but he got the kill.
Come on, bro. I'm just trying to have a good time.
Use your Seagull with the Dragon Blade.
Oh.
Back D-Mech now. They've got them bottled up by Spawn, and here comes the Dragon Blade. Can he get the kills? There goes Free Feel. That was big. Now looking for one into MG. No more.
Okay, big blade. All right, Dallas is doing it.
Coco helping out here.
Flashbang missed right there, so Undead not going to be catching Seagull, trying to get some damage in, but the defense matrix is there.
Nice. Quick cap of the second point. All right.
50 seconds, remember.
Shanghai's got a minute. Dallas has got 3.
Start with. They need to make things happen in a hurry here.
Gonna try and dive across.
This is 1.0 version of Horizon. This is like the first iteration of Horizon. Horizon got changed later.
Undead surprise.
I can't even remember. Dude, I try and block out as much Horizon as I can in my life. Oh, Coco gets altering. That's so bad.
Typically what we've seen in the Overwatch League.
All right, so now Shanghai, they've lost MG's.
Cuz, were you stressed a lot on stage, or did you think it was another game? Funnily enough, and this is something that like is a big deal, and I think a lot of people didn't put enough time. Also, there's a spray trap, by the way, just to make people think it's a trap.
To just 15 seconds. They
I was actually very stressed every time I played Dallas Fuel matches, right? Not like even in Overwatch, pre-Overwatch League. Obviously, I'm playing on a stage in front of crowds, but the problem with the way that Dallas had it is like, it was very like, you need to perform, right? Because like, I was playing very infrequently without like coming in for like only like 1 or 2 maps in a series. So that adds a lot more pressure. Coming in as like for one map is a lot harder. Once I started playing consistently for the LA Valiant and I had a starter role with matches were going well, everything, I felt completely normal. Like it was just, once you're in it, the match, you're focused, you're good, right? Especially if you're playing like a long series, like you get to a point where you're just locked in and you're not even thinking about it, you're just playing Overwatch, right? But when you have to come in for one map, you never get comfortable on the stage. You never get that moment where you're locked in or you're starting to go or you're getting a feel for the match. If you're coming in for one map and then getting subbed out and then coming in another time, it's very jarring. And I think that's like one of the things that a lot of teams did very early on in Overwatch that they stopped doing, right? It's kind of like the Janus getting subbed in for Mano. It's like, just play one of them. They'll probably play better throughout the course of the series than trying to play 2 different people on different maps in different situations, right? If they're playing the same hero, why change someone, right? Just pick one and let them play. Because otherwise it can be very, it's just very hard to get the flow of the game. Shockwave understands. Yeah, there's been players who have done it a lot in the past. Like I've called out Shockwave. I think someone else, I think Sam got done really dirty for the San Francisco Shock in 2022. Like Sam was just getting thrown in for a random map every now and then. People have done it with teams, and some players deal with it better than others, but like it was something that I really struggled with. It's like I just felt like I'm always coming in just not prepared in the same way that everyone else was. Tayo, all that kind of stuff. And that's it, Rezi. You're overthinking. It's like being a bench player in any sport. Like, you have like such a short window to perform to prove that you deserve to be out there and you deserve to be in the match. And it can be very difficult, right? Compared to players who are like, they have time to sort of warm up. And if they make one mistake, they're not getting subbed out or they're getting benched, right? I think that's really the issue that was a good setup. Oh, yeah, that was such a sick dive. They coordinate that very well. Shanghai did a terrible job of stopping that setup. Good sleep on a seagull. But Timer clears that free throw. Sam playing map vibes, yeah. And this is something I've talked about. Like, it was one of the things when we went 0-7 in 2019. And because when I was in that stage, I came in to play Control. I was the Control Lucio, which I think that's a terrible strategy. I think having a Control player who's just a Lucio player who just plays Control is terrible. Just play that Lucio player on all the maps, because no player is just better on Control as a Lucio player, right? So that's ended up why, like, towards the end of matches, I said, I was like, I either want to be playing Lucio all the time, or I don't want to be playing Lucio at all. Like, at some point, you just need to pick. You either want to play with Kuki or you want to play with me, right? And that's when I ended up getting full-time benched, and they ended up going with Kuki, because I said, I think I want to do one or the other, and they ended up going with Kuki, and I'm like, cool, all right, that's your decision. Because, like, that I've actually told the story of, like, we had a map 5 against New York Excelsior where I hadn't played since the map 1. I came in for map 5, and it's like, as I said, there's a lot of adrenaline going through. I'm not comfortable in the series. I don't feel like I'm not in it like everyone else is. And then you just get tossed in. It's easier to make mistakes and overthink issues because it doesn't feel like you're locked in. So I always say that about any team, is that you really want to just stick to a certain number of players. Like, I think subbing in a player who's a specialist on a certain map makes sense, right? Because, well, we can't play this strategy without this player, so we need to sub this guy in and put this guy in. That makes sense to me. But it makes no sense to sub a player in to play the exact same hero or role that someone else is playing already in the series. Like, I think that's hurting you more than it's helping, and that's why no teams really do that these days. Wasn't Kuki a tank player? Okay, not now, Pancake. Okay, we're not going down that rabbit hole. All right, so 1-1, Dallas Fuel end up closing out Horizon Lunar Colony. Do I only play 2 maps? Do I fat finger it twice in only 2 maps? That can't be right. No, this has to be the wrong series. This has to be the wrong series.
Well, yeah, the problem is too is that Shanghai just have a bad comp to deal with the Orisa barrier. Like, what are you going to do poking away with a McCree and a Tracer as the Orisa barrier sits there in the corner. It gives them so much time to hit the halt and to hit the hooks as we saw right now. Basically,
Twice in one map. True classic.
Oh, come here, MG. Have some damage.
I remember having a big contest about.
Mickey has to take a breather.
I really don't like playing Orisa Roadhog on this map. I think Orisa Roadhog on this map is really not very good.
Seagull with the kill there, and Mickey somehow,
And we're getting picked, so it's working. But I thought Orisa Roadhog here was so bad because I think it was so easy to surround you. And once you lost the point, it was so hard to take back.
Can't use the diva boost to get onto the high ground because
Yes, it is why we are here, Timpaz.
MG was jumping up and down, just waiting to get demech there after his defense matrix ran out.
distraction time.
An ineffective one.
Wasn't hold hook was a thing, but a lot not on every map. Hold hook was good on like hybrid and linear maps where you want to push a card and you want to force defense. But I think anywhere where it was open, I think the Zen Mercy with like the Tracer and stuff like that, the Tracer Genji was generally better with the Winston Diva. That's what most teams play on Control, right? We actually just watched the London New York game and they both played that.
Showing so far from Dallas, and you'll notice they haven't even had to use an ult yet. Shanghai's been very slow in building their own ultimates because they've been convincingly losing every fight thus far.
Kaikai's name was bad in Season 1. He didn't get the Titans GM job because of it. I have no idea. I actually don't know that story. But Kaikai kind of became like a lot of the scapegoat for the Dallas Fuel in Season 1. And he was the only head coach and he made some mistakes. Like, what was it? What was it like someone gave like coaching advice or something like that? And he said like, oh, thanks for the coaching advice. What's your PayPal or some shit? It was something like that. And it was just the strangest thing ever. When he tried to ask for someone's PayPal for like coaching advice.
Stayed safe on the side here. Ooh, misses those shots onto Dia, but he's got an opportunity on a free field. Yeah, sets him up for the kill. And there's one onto Roshan. Man, that reaction time gets him with the flashbang right as he lands. And
Looks like Dallas is going to win this round.
again, and we're into OT, back to 99%. And with the Mercy kill onto
All right, Orisa works. There you go.
that may be all Dallas needs to take the first round. It looks like it will be.
Kaikai went to Did Kaikai go to Outlaws after Dallas?
Oasis.
Yeah, Kaikai had very limited resources. Like, you know, I spoke of that earlier. Like, we did get another coach. We ended up getting Peak in like stage 2, but at the start of the season, we only had one coach, and Kaikai was the only coach, and he was head coach, and he was kind of like acting as the intermediary between players. So he wasn't even doing any like actual coaching of anyone in the game. It was more just like overarching things that like a head coach does, right? We didn't have any analysts. We didn't have anyone walking through or VOD reviewing players or talking about things or adjustments that need to be made, that kind of stuff. It was all just kind of like winging it. And that's why I think we just didn't improve as well. Like, people weren't improving on their own.
Looks like. And now trying to take down Taimu, who's fighting that 1v1.
All right, now we go over. Dude, Roshan's playing Roadhog now?
Though,
What the fuck?
kind of forced out, but the brawl continues here. Roshan down. There's the kill that Dallas really needs.
Now they're going to push forward into the supports.
Yep, that's right. Meanwhile, Undead on the Doom Fist. I'm loving it. And we'll see if he can make it work, though. Seagull.
The most cursed video I ever watched was the Outlaws players talking about how Kaikai taught them edging so they wouldn't get too excited and throw during games.
The Doom Fist here to try and challenge the high ground will be the next question. Or did he just do it to try and push
During
the
games?
point as fast as he could? He's going
he's
to stick
committing.
with it. He's going to stick with it. So
They should talk to Undead. No, actually, they shouldn't talk to Undead about that, actually.
high ground, 'cause they
Should talk to someone else about that. Maybe Baby Bit.
but not a whole lot that the Dallas Fuel are going to be able to do up close.
That's right. Well, Taimu onto that high ground, and that's where they want him. Can they take advantage? Undead with the kill onto Seagull.
Definitely not Undead. Anyone but Undead, honestly.
Again, though. And so Taimu, now forced off the high ground, doesn't have that grapple cooldown, has to be very careful, but he gets the heals, and Roshan has gone too deep. Altering comes in with the res anyway, and Harry Hook just looking for a victory.
This wasn't until Season 2, so maybe maybe it was too late for Undead. Maybe he needed to take the Kaikai course of edging.
Self-destruct, and he gets
Oh, there's the Doomfist, by the way. The Undead Doomfist, the thing of legends. Dude, Time of Widow's actually kind of going crazy, all things considered.
as they can.
Coco going to try and drop back onto the point here. He was just waiting in the wings so that they could stagger it, but Mickey staying alive.
Yeah, Dallas is just still holding the point. Go, clear the point. Dude, Mickey Remix? Dude, there's no way they let Mickey Remix. And then he kills Altering. And then they rest time. There's no way.
Mickey on this diva, one of the best out there.
Dude, Shanghai was so bad. That's so bad. Do other esports have this much drama? Yeah. I think maybe not always this much drama. It was definitely amplified in the inaugural season because it was kind of like the thing that made Overwatch League interesting is it didn't have a full scene. So what happened is that like Overwatch like competitive scene was pretty small, and then all of a sudden it's like now you guys have endless resources and like these world-class lands, world-class broadcasts. And it just kind of came out of nowhere. So no one was prepared for what the fuck was going to happen. Teams were just dumpster fires. Oh my god.
Goodbye Doomfist is undead, taken out, and that self-destruct is not going to be a whole lot of concern for Dallas.
Oh my god, I cannot believe Shanghai didn't cap that point. That's wild.
That's going to be the end of it. So Fuel.
That is a fast 2-0 from Dallas Fuel. Wow.
Wait, this isn't the game. There's no fucking way. Wait, chat, this isn't the game.
How they could take out the New York Excelsior on control.
Well, it legitimately
What?
get too much more one-sided than what we just saw from Dallas Fuel on Oasis coming in. Pretty much smashing Shanghai. And
Oh, was it week 10? Wait, no, there's no way we played over 10 week. Was it?
no small part due to Taimu coming in, but Chips Chan had a great series. Yeah, there's the kill on the MG. Gonna find
I was gonna say, I think I played more of this series.
I think the position you're running right there on a wait.
And I was like, I thought we won 3-1. Like, I thought we won pretty convincingly over Shanghai in this year. Bro, we just fucking gigatrolled. Well, the stories have been said. It's all been good. We'll just put them on. We'll put them on at the end.
To the Widowmaker.
now Undead was winning
I think it's the week 10 match.
against
For some I thought it was week 5, day 1, because I was like, oh yeah, we play 2 matches every week.
both of these.
So it would be week 5, because it was in the last weekend of matches. Wasn't it?
Ground instantly and try and play around this choke point instead. So moving further back, giving up some ground on the payload.
That's wild. Well,
Snipe in. Spamming over the top.
Yep.
that's actually so funny. Wait, what?
And not in the place where
Alright, someone tell me what match it was.
so close anyway, though, that you don't.
Yeah, it was 40 matches, yeah.
You can just kind of wait.
Why did they play Mercy Zen in Moth meta? Because Transcendence is really good. The Discord orb is like 40% Discord or something like this point. Like, why? What else would you play with the Mercy?
Here on Dorado.
That's super sloppy from the side of Shanghai while you're waiting for
Week 5 would be at least most... That's what I thought as well. And I thought it was in the last weekend of matches.
you. So don't even
Or maybe it happened in the middle of the...
the halt up.
Early on. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, very true. You gotta move towards that payload eventually, though, and that's exactly what Shanghai's gonna do. They're gonna.
This might be the most Custa video we've ever had. It's been a good video regardless. It was interesting talking about Shanghai and Dallas. It's just going to be interesting to not have the fat fingers at any. We'll just watch the fat fingers independently, and I'll defend myself at the end.
Anyway, and Shanghai's gonna try to keep pushing here. They do have to.
Skip to the end if you're just here for the fat fingers and my explanation.
There's the kill to Coco. Both tanks out of the way right now. Chips.
Oh, wow.
Can he make enough of a difference? He's got the Valkyrie. Can he get to the other?
Season 1 stage 2? No,
Dead with some clean shots at Dia.
it wasn't stage 2, I don't think. Was it stage 2?
Is exactly what the Dragons needed.
Yeah, Mickey was too far up, got hooked in, and that started this whole snowball. So another positional error.
Double res, how about that? Yeah, we've been...
High Dragons instantly take
Route 66 to map 4. Well, shit, okay.
as a result.
Let's check out this Riptire from Dia again.
Was a beauty.
Yep, that's right.
Well, we trolled, chat. But it's okay. It's still been an interesting one to watch. Woohoo!
No more resurrects available, so he can go directly for that back line. Chips is trying to get out of there.
That's right.
Is caught with his teammates.
I'm holding you. Dude, not a single person. Like, how is this possible? Not a single person was like, this isn't the right game. None of us knew. Usually I have you guys to check and balance whenever I'm doing something stupid. You guys are like, hey, you know, you're doing this wrong. I trust that you knew it. Dude, it's been 5 years. I'm 30. My memory's going. I got nothing. I have like a mental block on this moment of my career. You know, like what do they call it when you block something out? That's traumatic event.
They're waiting around at this point, and they're gonna push Dallas back.
Repressed memory. This is a repressed memory
Payload out with the
that I have.
tank look. Seagull swapped over.
I try not to think about it because it keeps me awake at night.
Problem is that you're not going to be doing a lot to this many tanks.
Yeah,
Honestly, Seagull's Genji's kind of been kind of nice in this series.
There, two ultimates rather, Supercharger and Whole Hog.
We didn't even get to watch Effect and talk about Effect.
Totally missing that kill.
I'm going to talk about Effect right now, even though he's not playing, because that's going to be the theme of this video. Talking about things that actually don't exist in this video. Okay? So, Effect was an interesting player, because I've never seen... I don't think, to this day, maybe like I've seen streams of it, I don't think I've ever seen a more mechanically skilled player in person than Effect. Like, Effect was one of those guys who's just like a freak of nature at FPS games. And it comes from just the sheer amount of hours that they've played in it. But holy fuck, watching him play Osu and watching him play like Overwatch was just like, he's playing a different game. Like, the way he like just like played, especially Tracer, was fucking crazy. But then Osu as well, he's just like a world-class Osu player as well. And it was just fucking wild watching him play the game. But yeah, it was kind of sad because, as we said earlier, I think he's not in this game because of like mental health issues. But man, it was something else playing with him. He really struggled with, like, and I think, you know, this was like the time before a lot of teams had mixed rosters. Like, not a lot of teams had mixed rosters in Season 1. Like, actually, that's a good question. How many teams had mixed rosters? Shanghai Dragons, Dallas Fuel, Los Angeles Valiant, Philly. Shocked in at that point. I guess Houston ended up getting fucking... What's his face? Who was the Genji player that they signed at the last minute? Fuck, the most nepotism signing of all time. Arhan, the Gladiators player. Gladiators. Oh, actually, there were more than I thought. There were more, but like, yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing, like, I think Effect really struggled with the translations. Like, he just kind of got stuck. We ended up getting a translator, like, in the middle of the season. Oh, God, Taimu and Chips are dead. Oh, wow, Taimu lived. We ended up getting a translator in the middle of the season, in, like, stage 2. But, yeah, you could just really tell. No, Arhan is definitely the most Nepo baby of all time. We've talked about this before, but Arhan, like, Houston Outlaws were so bad, right, in stage 2 and 3, and they just needed a Tracer player. Mendo was just was nowhere to be seen. Mendo was just, you know, had every excuse under the sun. And then we had Clockwork playing Tracer, who wasn't cutting the mustard. Then Jake was a Junkrat player, and also just like playing the flex DPS. So they're like, we need to sign a player. Okay, we need a player on our team, and fucking Tyrong signed Arhan, like the hardest Genji one trick you have ever seen in your fucking life. Like, just, he's a good Genji player, but he gets signed. Did Arhan ever play a map? What's the Mendo story? I don't really know the Mendo story that well. That's not my story to tell because, as I said, I don't know it that well. I've heard things and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I don't know. He played Brig? Oh, God. Yeah, dude. They're, like, I think you can look at every single team and be like, you can isolate how mismanaged every team was. Like, I think the only team that wasn't, like, terribly mismanaged was, like... It might actually be Philly. It might be Philly. Philly didn't have too many issues, did they? Oh, actually, no, that's not true. Didn't Carpe end up refusing to play with... Carpe refused to play with Fraggy towards the end, didn't he? Or was that season 2? NYXL? NYXL had some issues with, like, Janus and Janos, and then they had Ark and Animo.
We've seen it just go back and forth every map as far as a team having a major advantage, obviously on Oasis.
Yeah, there was just so many things that just like blew up. It was so funny. Harder Genji one trick than Who Are You? Yes. All right. Shanghai finished with 2 minutes remaining. How about London? No, London had a lot of issues, right? Because, like, stage 1, as we said, like, they had 12 players. They end up dropping 2 of their players. They end up dropping a coach. Didn't one of their coaches get fired for punching somebody? Dude, we're just remembering it all. Who was the coach? Oh, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure they had a coach who got fired. I think it was for punching somebody. Yeah, they had like 20 coaches. One of them got fired for something.
They're coming in. Shanghai has to react.
Which teams weren't around in season 1? There's a lot of them. Like 8 teams got added in season 2. Both the Joes, Chengdu, Paris, Toronto,
Pretty crisply executed dive from Dallas.
Well, that's what we said. Dallas has not been really failing in terms
Atlanta,
of execution. And again, sometimes it takes them a while.
Vancouver, yeah,
They strike.
and Justice, yeah. So those were the 8 teams.
Four-man dive.
The legendary Taimu Farah, yeah, dude. The thing that the Lucio Mercy setup. Look at this bad boy, Lucio Mercy, Farah, Genji, Winston, Diva. Why is Harry Hook playing Lucio?
Back with Lucio. Won't have to wait to join his team.
Lucio does absolutely fucking nothing except stand on the cart. Lucio Mercy was a classic back in the day, though. I will say, Lucio Mercy did used to be a thing. So maybe they're just channeling the thing. Dude, Coco and Mickey just jump up and die. That was literally just a dive where Seagull was not there yet, and they just die.
With an opportunity to set up a really strong defense.
Harry Hook pulling a win. Yes, I sit on the payload.
On the far side. So he's
I tweet.
shit right now behind the court, waiting for his teammates to step back.
No, don't peek. Why would you peek? Okay.
Now they do.
Yeah, but he's trying to distract them. He's just going to rejoin his team and see if he can draw a couple of them out of position while they try to push around this corner.
I think Harry Hook was tweeting. No.
Again, though, MG staying strong on the point for the
That was a win special.
as well. Here comes a Riptire from Dia.
Where's blood going? Where is blood going? Dude, Tyre lasts way too fucking long. I'm going to say it. Even to this day, Tyre lasts too long. Like, what the fuck is that shit? My man literally did 360s in a church for 5 seconds and still just makes it to the back line and kills the Mercy.
As they jump onto the point, trying to be efficient with it, and Undead gets the kill onto Seagull too. So Dallas, they've got a lot of ultimates to work with. They've nearly got 6. Here is where they need to put them to use.
Yeah. Freeville also really
Oh, I can't believe what my fat fingers are in this game. We literally have no reason to watch this game. This game has actually been just 2 bad teams playing. We said we were going to watch toilet bowls, but I didn't think this was going to be it.
Effect on the fight. They should be able to get some real good.
I'll make it up to you, chat. We'll watch some true heinous ones. Maybe next time we'll watch the Boston-Houston, okay? I'll make it up to you.
Seagulls, he comes in with the Dragon Blade. Freefield down.
I'm glad we watched it. It's been a good story. It's been good to talk about both these teams because I think that really is, like, both of these teams are our classics, right? And it's kind of interesting. And this was, like, a very close series. Like, this is one of the few series that Shanghai Dragons even got close to winning, right?
That's right. Dallas still coming back. There's another res this time onto MG, who gets barely back into his back. Taimu goes ahead and uses a barrage just to deny the Diva from being part of the fight. And that payload is moving. Roshan still being annoying in the back line, so Primal Rage finally jumping back onto it.
This game is a banger, yeah. Both teams are champions.
badness. Chips holds his
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. Both Shanghai like the 3 worst teams in the Overwatch League ended up winning the last 3 championships.
end of point B.
Yeah. Now the Valk gets used. Dallas
We had Florida Mayhem, then Dallas Fuel, then the Shanghai Dragons.
early.
Worst 4? Who was the one after that? Before that?
Taimu trying to fight
Sure, I'm misremembering.
the Widow, getting a little bit low. 45 health remaining.
Oh, San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco. They were bottom 4 as well, actually. That's a good point. I forgot about that.
So not making
The Shock were bottom 4.
payload as the Transcendence comes in from Freefield. They need to get some more kills, and that'll work.
Yeah, Shock were not good in the inaugural season. They weren't like the worst, but by far, like they were definitely better than
Point B.
Shanghai and Florida, but yeah, it wasn't great.
Falling and point B
Got him.
will be taken. So it did cost them the sound barrier.
You say bottom 4, I say top 8.
Again, we see three.
Top 8 actually sounds pretty good when you have 20 teams.
Dragon Blade has been offset with Shanghai Dragons Transcendence this entire time. So Seagull's going to find a lot of these.
Bad Houston was the battle for Texas in 2020. Yeah, Houston were real bad in 2020. Where the Boston Houston is the one we're gonna watch. That's gonna be the first real toilet bowl we're gonna watch because I think that really is the inception of the toilet bowls.
They need Dia and MG to use those.
That game was awful.
Now Seagull taking a little bit of damage, gets out. He's onto the high ground, trying to come.
Blade.
Here's the Dragon
Oh, he's lost. There's no way he catches anyone. Oh, they get undead though.
finds Undead with that self-destruct, and now Seagull sitting on the payload, trying to delay altering the ability to get back into the fight. MG MG is gonna get demeched again almost immediately, it looks like. Yep, he certainly will.
Shock's underage? Yeah. Shock had like Super and Sinatra, who were both underage at that point, and they signed Moth like halfway through the season, so like all their best pieces ended up coming towards the later half of the season. Because who do they have before that? They had Nomi, Dak, Nevix, Baby Bay,
Yeah, the spawn advantage is just too strong for
Sleepy,
at this point to really keep
and Dante.
Dallas's.
Holy roster, baby.
We're also going to not see any more of the Lucio as Harry Hook transitions over to the Zenyatta.
Sleepy was there for me. Sleepy was good. Oh yeah, IDQD, who played the one map. That's another story that like never really ever got told. It's kind of like the Mendo one, but I think Mendo one got told more, but like IDQD just like never played.
Chips has the Valkyrie, but they haven't been able to use it really. Coco will fall.
What the fuck happened to IDQD? I'm not sure.
He has his own Valkyrie back up. So Dallas Fuel had a chance to try and push forward with a support ult advantage.
Why didn't he play? No idea. I think he streams. Yeah, I think he streams.
Particularly Mickey getting demeched.
I think you can call that a bit of an economy push because they still have a minute and a half left, and now they're going to have a lot of ults coming up very soon. They were able to use these all to take point B. Can they use them to take point C? Here comes a Dragon Blade. Seagull says yes, but now the Transcendence available for free field just in the nick of time. The kill's coming in anyway, but altering there with the resurrection. Seagull just trying to finish people off. Can't get MG. Taimu, Deadeye. Can they get through the Winston shield? Oh no, not quite. They can't do it. MG demeched anyway. And Taimu gonna take advantage of that one. Roshan a bit low, but he's getting that healing from altering. Altering now on his own. And so Dallas, again.
Is actually watching some of your old pre-hour matches on stream the other day was interesting to watch. Really? I think he did message me a little bit ago saying he linked me one of our old VODs. Yeah, it was like a true classic, right? We went back and watched some of those for History of Overwatch, but was XQC still in Dallas Field? Yes, I'm pretty sure he's suspended at this point though. I think XQC spent half of his career on Dallas suspended. Wait, why is Chips on Mercy? Because Chips is a good Mercy player. He was probably the best Mercy player on the team at this point.
But they're still on the payload. MG, the only one there from Shanghai. Everyone else zoned back by Coco.
Half? No, that's general. It might have been more, yeah.
Altering can't get in.
Because I remember, like, the team was like, XQC, we really need you to come in and play Winston. Please just stop getting suspended.
To fall around Shanghai, looking at a poke-oriented composition, and now we're going to try and play on the.
Now he's one of the richest streamers to ever live. Yeah, true.
Taimu being very careful to not give any angles to a possible Widowmaker. There is no Widowmaker this time around, though, so you can see they're going to get a bit more aggressive here. Undead taking some damage, trying to force Shanghai Dragons off of that high ground.
MG has been demeched, though. That's not going to be actually huge as long as Mickey doesn't get demeched in turn.
Yep, that's right. Coco, ooh, Coco does.
What game is this and why are we watching it? This is the game where Dallas plays Shanghai that we thought had my fat fingers in it, but we've realized since doesn't have my fat fingers in it. So now we're just watching a pretty bad game between Dallas and Shanghai and sort of talking about both of these teams and the rosters.
Accurate rockets altering. Ooh, a lot of damage there. Oh, they can't keep him alive though.
And there's no resurrection.
You guys, I'm holding you guys personally accountable for this as well. Oh, Chip's dead. They're getting held.
Everyone on Dallas falling, and I don't even know if they
This was weeks after Custa was born. No, didn't we say it was stage 2?
And they have to use the self-destruct, but that should be it. Shanghai Dragons holding strong in A.
That's right. They the
That high ground and this.
all right.
Custa gaslight in the chat. Yo, I gotta gaslight someone.
Extremely solid defense. If they want to have any chance of winning Dorado here, 3 minutes for Shanghai as they come around the corner, and it's going to be whoever gets those first Roadhog picks first. I think is going to come out on top.
Yeah, seeing the same strategy. So Dia's spamming that angle so that they can't play quite as far up.
What rank do you reckon this is in 2023? I would say it's like Masters.
That is smart. All right, now the barrier for Shanghai allows them to push forward here, altering down. Taimu with an early.
Timer just double taps the supports.
Huge, he killed
All right.
supports somehow. He was shooting them from the back of the line. Those were incredibly long-range McCree shots.
Wow, Taimu coming through in the clutch when Dallas needs him, and that's the first minute burned off of the time bank for Shanghai. So again, they barely.
Peak Timer, yeah. Timer was kind of like Pine, where he had like crazy fluctuation in the pop-offs, but had some crazy pop. Like, look at that.
That he tried to do this.
5 shots, 2 kills. Like, that's just nasty.
That was insane from Taimu, and that's the kind of stuff that that really makes this guy stand out above a lot of other DPS players.
The Seagull Junkrat, Thing of Legends. Oh, gets the trap kill on a free fill. Probably gonna get res though, yeah.
A big one here could stall out Shanghai.
Dude, so you couldn't hear this at all. Oh, wow.
Free field yet again.
There's not going to be a resurrection for him either, so Shanghai going to keep trying to push forward right now.
Yeah, Undead down as well, too. So no tank on the Shanghai side in the Road Dogg department anyway.
Valkyrie is up for the Dragons.
Yep, they've nearly got Roshan as well.
Why did they Valk?
Dia drops, Taimu with another crucial kill, altering
Like, why are they going out while the other team's going in? Like, what?
just buying time.
Tyre was really bullshit. Yeah, Tyre was really good during this time.
Shanghai to push his payload the rest of the way. Roshan back up again. Here comes Dia. This Riptire could end it. Gets in there. Seagull.
Oh, the Tyre didn't kill anything.
Roshan though, and here's the Transcendence. Can they get any reses? Seagull brought back by Chip.
Oh, no. The 4C9.
Get there. Oh, that whole hog nearly did it. The payload teetering.
Oh, the Tyre.
Edge, but Seagull comes through with the Riptire kill onto altering. This is big.
Oh, my
Dia
God.
down, and now just 4
Tyre had weird bugs in it, like audio. Yeah, so when the Tyre was climbing things or when it was on the roof, it had no audio. You couldn't hear it. So it's like, it could be anywhere. And so in a fight, there's so much going on, you just have no idea where the Tyre is going. Like, Jake has a pretty infamous clip of it killing us on the Valiant, I think it was, where he literally goes across all the roofs on Oasis and just drops it on us. And we had no idea where it was coming from because you can't hear it. So it's just like, he used it from across the map. It lasts for like 18 bajillion years. And so therefore we just die. Yeah, Hog could move while drinking, but Hog also didn't have the damage reduction when drinking at this time. Oh, map 5 banger, baby. Shanghai Dragons versus Dallas Fuel.
Excellent swap.
All right, let's go. Li Zhang Tower, baby.
Bit of a surprise because Seagull came in with a lot of Pharah practice into the preseason, and he was primarily the Pharah player in some of their games late last year, but now it has been Taimu on it for the most part tonight. But this time, Soldier for Taimu, and Shanghai Dragons will be attempting the Soldier and Tracer combination.
That's right. We are ready to get things started here.
The Preds up, all in on Dragons. All right, so we got Farah Seagull versus not Farah.
The first quick kill onto the support.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to really res that in time. Altering, trying to come back up over the lip.
Oh, the boop.
Got to be careful.
Oh, the double boop.
That's a double move onto Undead.
Timey not playing Farah, always a good sign.
Harry Hook denied him from getting back onto the bridge here. Altering take.
Oh my god, just bullying.
And that's going to be Dallas taking a point early. And
Stage 2, week 1, day 1. Oh shit, okay, there you go.
About that late kill onto altering.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic for them. Now, the Shanghai Dragons did get some more
2018 was wild, dude. The comps make no sense.
mercy as a result of taking a lot of upfront damage from the Pharah and the Soldier 76. But
True.
see if they can take advantage of that in the long
Dude, look at how bad that dive is. They just dive with the Winston Diva hoping to kill something.
Undead pushing forward rather. Mickey did get demech, but that's another boot from Harry Hook. Undead knocked off.
The Lucio Mercy working as intended.
Goodbye. A comical ragdoll will send Dallas Taimu packing, but the rest of his team right there. Free field.
Old Li Zhang before they had that little area.
And altering actually made a pretty big mistake there, Doa. See how he just died.
Seagull Farah was like really good back in the day.
Pagoda resurrecting his tank.
It's brave.
Roshan.
It's a brave.
So there was
No platforming, no prepping, no 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there's literally no. The dives back then were like so simple.
for his team.
Salva, we actually just we actually just watched NYXL versus Spitfire. It's gonna be up on my YouTube tomorrow.
Chips there with the res. Surprisingly enough, he used the Valkyrie, and now they got to get back on the point to defend it. Mickey trying to chase away Undead.
Coco dead. It looks like Shanghai's actually gonna get this. Oh, never mind. Valk,
Delay at least.
Sound Mario.
If he wants to use it, gonna go ahead and do that just now. Can't stay alive though. No.
Oh, the boops.
Coco though. Whoa, get the kill onto Undead. Mickey did find Roshan too.
Wow, this was a fight Shanghai
Crazy.
Dragons had in the bag. Roshan
Wait, why didn't he boop the Mercy? Harry?
could not be resurrected, but at the end,
Wait, altering. Okay, they're resetting. Oh, that's so bad.
Dallas Fuel use all of their ultimates, commit this.
No, dude, Harry Hook. I'm gonna say this. Harry Hook refused to learn to wall ride. It is actually something that Kai was like, Harry, you need to learn how to wall ride. Because back then, wall riding was actually very difficult. Because like every wall had a different texture. Compared to what it is now, it was very difficult to wall ride. And it just took time to understand what rules you could ride off of, understand the geometry, understand how to do it. But Harry Hook just like refused to learn to wall ride. He only knew how to like very simply wall ride, but he didn't know how to climb things. He didn't know how to get up to top of things. It was wild. Like that he just like did not want to learn how to wall ride. Really, what changed? The way it used to work, so Lucio, you know how you get that speed boost now jumping off of walls? That didn't used to exist. You used to be able to game it by, if you put a lot of multiple inputs onto the jump, which is why everyone used to use scroll wheel to do it, you would jump off of walls faster. It was kind of like a bug that they ended up turning into a mechanic. So you needed to do that, but also every wall, so let me pause here, it's just to explain it. So this wall, right? Let's say this wall is like 2 textures. You could wall ride on this wall, and you could wall ride on this wall. So if you're going fast enough, you could bounce. But you could not bounce off of a wall texture or a texture twice. So you had to always bounce between one texture and another texture. So the only way to climb up like a corner is you would bounce from one texture to the next texture to the next, back to the old texture, and that's how you used to climb. These days, you can bounce on any wall as much as you want any times, but back in the day, you actually had to understand how walls were kind of just existed. So you just running around the map was the best way to actually learn how to wall ride. And it used to be quite complicated to get high very often.
On the opposite side.
That's right. Zarya v Zarya. What is this?
With the Moira.
And then there were little bumps. There were some walls that were like weird and buggy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Wow, that's a ton of energy for Seagull already. Near 80.
All right. Quad tank, Lucio and Moira. Yeah, it's the EU quad tank, yeah. Moira was pretty new at this time as well. Look at how quickly you get Cole.
Coming out of the Moira, and Dallas trying to cap this point first. Shanghai back on there again. We'll see if they can do it. Oh, they've lost Coco, but also Roshan falls. Both Reinhardts out of commission here. No resist from Dallas.
Cole.
And altering not able to get
Oh my god, not the best.
Dallas nearly has a point, but the fight's not done yet. Now Coalescence comes in for Chips High, and
Oh, that tire is such a problem. Oh, I don't know about that grab, though. Through years of research, I finally figured out the secret to a healthy lawn is sprinkling protein powder on wet morning grass. The idea was way overdue.
Necessary, but Shanghai is the right idea. I like the fact that they're running Zarya just with the second tank, and then also running the McCree and the Junkrat. Reason why is that, sure, Dallas Fuel is going to get Coalescence up very quickly on the Moira, but at the same time...
The Moira did 0 damage. Yeah, it doesn't feel like he's throwing damage orbs at all either, just focusing on healing. The Moira meta has changed. Chips, you know you're supposed to just dive into the backline.
The Riptire. So really nice play there from the Dragon. Can't actually you use the Riptire once Chips uses the Coalescence, and he can't actually disappear and escape the Riptire. So really nice play there from the Dragons.
Coco died. So Dallas having to back off again. I mean,
You couldn't cancel pin it this time to give him a little bit of
They can't keep
something,
This is not a sustainable option for the Dallas Fuel.
but not great. Not great.
Side where you can charge that Riptire so very quickly.
that's right. Ooh, charge comes in. They dodge him. Roshan pulled away. They're like, no, come this way, please. They
Dude, Roshan just got abandoned. The rest of his team is like, goodbye.
to the point with the 6v5. That's right. They do have it. Seagull takes some time to kill it.
Whoa, yeet.
He's gonna just lob that graviton surge in there. He doesn't care, man.
Oh, good split of the... They actually split the healing from the trance.
Goes ahead and gets the kill onto Undead. And there goes altering Seagull with a crucial kill on the Mercy. Graviton surge.
Oh, good sound, Barrett.
By Shanghai, but the sound barrier is there from Harry Hook to keep everybody up, and it looks like Dallas will be able to flip this point.
And they overcommitted.
He should have known he couldn't cancel pin. Yeah, it's just bad. I'm just trying to give a little bit of silver lining.
And come back with the Riptire and their own Graviton. Instead, the commitment is absolutely massive, and they lose the fight anyway. You have to fight through a choke now against an Earth Shatter and against Mickey with the self-destruct. This is going to be a challenge. Dia is switching to May.
Wow, that is
Oh, good pin.
Coco meanwhile gets the pin on the
That was a better pin. Yeah, do that every time.
way. He's I thought Ryan never ran from combat. Well, he doesn't have to run because Seagull killed him anyway. Dallas now has Shanghai pinned back in their own spawn.
Was it true that Coco sometimes would insta-lock Orisa because he... Okay, so Coco really liked Orisa in the Winston meta because I think I just don't think he liked playing Winston, like, and he wasn't good at Winston. So I think he just wanted to play Orisa, but like, you can't just play Orisa all the time. Back in this days, you can't just play Orisa all the time because you kind of just get run at, right? Or like they just ignore you and kill everyone else. But yeah, that is true.
To accomplish it, though, Altering's going to be coming back with a Valkyrie, so Shanghai...
Yeah, like Sigma didn't exist.
Dallas Fuel has to retreat. They lost their crowd control ultimate, which was allowing them to control the choke point.
Undead back on the Reaper again. Hey, if it worked on Dorado, why not bring it out against the tanks here on...
All right, Coco Earthshatter.
Gotta get something done. Earthshatter gets blocked. Return Earthshatter.
What was he shattering at?
Coalescence popped by Chips.
Oh, Roshan's dead. Oh, the trance is so late. Oh, okay, at least they have the Valk res.
Is there for Altering.
This is what, like, this is the disadvantage of not playing. Oh my god, you look at this pin.
Is there for Altering.
He pins as Dia drops the wall. Dia gets vacuumed into it and instantly pinned against his wall.
Mickey pops that self-destruct, doesn't get a lot of kills.
Yeah, this is why you almost, like, this is a great example of why you almost have to play the Mercy. They're literally playing 6v8. They have to, dude, Coco gets another shatter and just whiffs it again.
But nothing to do with it. And that is... Shanghai will take it back.
Used late again. You really want that for the next fight. Dallas Fuel tried to open that fight by using a Junkrat mine to...
Alright, now they're walking into a blizzard. Holy fuck.
...air to get a shatter off.
Alright, they got sound barrier whole hog. Winnable.
Far back, so they didn't execute the proper combo, and Shanghai...
Oh, dude, there's no way Roshan gets fucking ulti. Oh, did he eat that?
Oh, it got eaten, though.
Dude, that was a sick eat by Mickey.
I think he did.
That actually is like such a game-saving ultimate. If that blizzard goes down, they just die. 100%. Oh, the shadow catches Mickey. Oh my god, they're still gonna win.
Yep, seems that way. Meanwhile, though, Shanghai...
The call is good though. Oh, they have trance. It's over.
Now, and as the Transcendence comes in, Dallas Fuel losing their members. They can't quite keep it up.
All right, map 5, round 3. We're going the distance, chat. Let's go.
That's right. Shanghai to get their first over...
Orisa Roadhog, triple tank, Junkrat, Mercy, Zenyatta. This is actually so scary. That's so much damage. Both teams playing the same thing. You can tell this is just the meta. Oh!
big boop.
Huge boop.
Taimu gets the D-Mech onto MG, and Dallas comes
Remember, Dragons are still winless at this point. Everyone's praying for Dragons, and Dallas Fuel's just trying to hold on.
Taimu, long known for his Roadhog, they just shoved them right off the edge of the map.
Dude, that push from Mickey at the beginning with the Diva was just so clutch.
It was absolutely, and Shanghai...
Surprise Harry isn't on Lucia. Oh, God.
These changes immediately onto the Pharah. There is nothing on the Dallas Fuel side that's going to be able to really affect this Pharah, but they have to be careful. So Shanghai, they can put some damage into the point here. But
The dinks of a headshot from so far away.
Chips his ult.
Sure enough. All right, no hooks coming through from that one, but Taimu on the outside of the fight. Meanwhile,
The Pharah.
that's right, they got to get back on there. Shanghai takes about 2/3 of it before Dia has to back away again. Does pull Dallas back onto the point one more time, though.
Diaz Farah, hell yeah. But I don't, it's kind of like, it takes so long to get value here. Like, I don't really like the Farah Mercy here. Like, also, Mickey could just throw a Diva Bomb at them and they would probably die.
Seagull coming in from behind, looking for some picks. Ooh,
Oh, dude, just free fill has just got nothing.
as the Mercy is all the way on the
Goodbye, Altering.
point.
Absolutely, though. Exactly. You can actually go for the Zenyatta because he is a sitting duck.
I'm just seeing how hard it is for these team fights. I'm glad Overwatch 2 did one tank. Yeah, and we did the GOATS video last time. Like, I think it's a great example to go back and watch these videos because sometimes it's easy to be like, maybe Overwatch 1 was better. Maybe 6v6 was better. And then you watch this shit and you're like, never mind. This was awful.
Going to have that Transcendence ready to go soon. Shanghai with some tools of their own as well. Dia. Ooh,
Dun, 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 dun.
coming from way up there.
This isn't going to work. Yeah,
Oh,
that didn't go well. Oh, no.
couldn't do it. Taking out him.
And this is what would happen to Shanghai, is they would go from being like, okay, they seem to know what they're doing. They have it together. And then they would just have rounds like this where you're like,
Possible, and they're just playing
what are you doing? Like, why are you doing? And it honestly comes from the mindset of everyone's trying to win the game on their own or like not try and win the game and just try and not suck as...
They realized that this Shanghai realized that this wasn't working.
That's the plan. Well, we're up to 96%. Looks like we may go to 99 before it's all said and done.
Oh, God.
There it is.
Undead's dead before the Farah Mercy even gets in. Altering's dead. What's this barrage? It's good.
Oh, and the barrage.
It's not enough, though.
Is it enough to turn it around? Without the Mercy, it seems impossible. And there goes Roshan.
Oh my god. Ends with a whimper. The Shanghai Dragons, no. Oh, the res. Dark res. Roshan's gonna get primal as well. Winnable. Oh god. I thought Roshan was gonna instantly die to that. Oh wow, that was actually really well played. Oh, it doesn't matter though. Oh, Harry Hook. If you wanted a reminder of DPS Doomfist who just comes in and just murders Zenyatta. But it's Jova. Dallas Fuel, hold on. And Shanghai Dragons cannot get the win. Maybe Altering's the GOAT. Maybe. Maybe. Dude, look at everyone's just relieved. They're not even happy. They're just relieved. Holy shit. All right. Let's get that. Let's watch the actual Custa moments. So that we actually... That's 4 years ago. Wait, where is this game? Stage 2. Week 1, day 1. Wait, why isn't it showing? You got a link? Thank you. Oh, fuck. All right, let's go. So, we're going to start this chat. So, this is the game that we actually wanted to watch. So, it's Dallas Fuel versus Shanghai Dragons, okay? This game goes dramatically better. It's worth noting, this game goes dramatically better. We end up winning, I believe it's 3-1. We go on to win this game. We played pretty well. Everything's looking good. Stage 2, I'm playing the flex port. I'm playing Zenyatta. Harry Hook's playing the Lucio. I don't know why Chipsogen's not playing the Zenyatta. We were just all over the place. But I want to defend myself a little bit. And I've told this story on my stream, but I feel like if we're doing a video about the history of Custa and the Classic, I need to give context so I can defend myself. So what happens when you go to the Overwatch League and you're playing on stage, you're not allowed to bring your own peripherals onto the stage, which is your keyboard and your mouse. Because the ability to put hacks and cheats onto a keyboard or a mouse that you can then plug in and then it'll work that way, you're not allowed to get access to the keyboard and the mouse that you play on stage. So what happens is your teams will order the keyboards and the mouse, and then they will be unsealed and they will be put in a storage container that the players can only access as they're going onto stage. So backstage, all your keyboards and your mouses are back there. You grab them and then you go onto stage, okay? So for that reason, if you change your peripherals, which is your keyboard or your mouse, then you need to put that through League Ops so that you can give them new ones so that they can unpack them and they can put them in the cases. So what happened in this match is I changed keyboard. Between stage 1 and stage 2, I changed keyboard. I went from I can't even remember, to a Logitech one though. But the keyboard that new keyboard I was using in scrims and I've been practicing with wasn't the one that I was allowed to use on stage because it hadn't been delivered yet. So I had to use my old keyboard on stage instead of my new one. My old one was really big and bulky compared to my new one, which was quite small. It also had different switches that were a lot more sensitive to my new one. So for that reason, that is my justification of why this happened. I was using a completely different keyboard with different switches, and what kept happening is I kept trying to move my keyboard. Well, one I accidentally slipped on, and the other one I was trying to move my keyboard. So while I was AFK, I tried to move my keyboard while that was going on, and that ended up causing the issue. What map? This happened on that one. And wait, where's the Nepal? All right, let's go here. No, get this copium out of here. So get this copium out of here. So essentially what happens, I actually don't know exactly when this one happens as well. We'll find out if it happens here. I think it happens at the end. So the first one happens here in Nepal. Not a lot of people caught this one when it happened. It did happen, but what happens, I end up dueling a Tracer, and I think I end up trying to strafe too hard. And I'm a gamer where I move in my chair when I play, which is just bad in general. But I end up dueling a Tracer, and I end up accidentally using Transcendence. I might have ended up using Transcendence in the fight, I think. That actually wasn't it. I think it happened earlier in the series then. Earlier in this map. Because that one was actually meant to be done. So let's go here. So I'm going to get Transcendence. Oh, I think it's here. Yeah, so it's here. So we've won the fight. So we've lost the fight. I'm dueling Dia, and I'm trying to die, and I accidentally press Q. in the fight. So I end up using Transcendence late in the fight.
Custa actually used the Transcendence there towards the end, so you don't have that ultimate coming in for the Dallas Fuel. Looks to be a little bit of...
So I fuck up. That's the thing. This has actually happened to other players. You could easily justify it, but it absolutely was accidental. Okay, so a lot of people do this all the time in the Overwatch League, and we don't really let it go. The real bad one is this one, right? This is the one that a lot is very famous. I think I don't know if it's here. We'll find out where this one comes, but no, not that one. That one was absolutely planned. So let's go back in time. So here it is. So here's this one. So this one is off the stage, out of combat at this point. Because I have the new keyboard, I try to adjust it. You know, like you set up and you sit up again, you like adjust your keyboard. Just see what happens.
Custa. So that's the second time in the series we've seen bloody hell.
Shut up, Matt.
Tell you what, mate. Malcolm Turnbull will hear of this. We'll send you back.
Nah, shut up, Mitch. Yeah, Malcolm Turnbull will not hear of this. So what happens is essentially I'm just chilling, right? I set up. I'm trying to move my keyboard. The funniest moment of this as well is I press it, I go, fuck, and I look over and Rascal just goes like... He looks at me like I'm a fucking idiot. Like, it's the second time it's happened, because I think the first time I was like, shit, I accidentally ulted. The second time he's just like... Are you fucking stupid? Because we're all just trying to beat the fucking Shanghai Dragons as well. And he's kind of right. I'm kind of an idiot. But that is the beginning of Custa. If you've ever heard me called Custa with a Q, this is it. And honestly, whenever anyone fat fingers an ultimate or accidentally makes a mistake, this is the moment they think of. It's a classic. It happens. It is what it is. I think if I'm thinking of the next player who I think was fat fingered the most ultimates, it actually might be Izayaki. So I might have put that onto him. Sorry about that, Izayaki. But that is why I'm known as Custa with a Q. Those were the good days. But we won. It was a 3-1 win, and that was good. And that was actually the match we were supposed to watch, but I mixed up my matches. So I hope you guys don't mind. I think the other match was actually closer and a better match. I think this one actually wasn't a very good match in the end. I think we end up winning like 2-0, 3-0. Like if you look at the final scoreline, let's have a look at the final scoreline here. Like we end up winning. The only one that was close was Hybrid. It was 2-0, 2-0, 3-4. So we actually might have watched the better match. And I think I was able to go in depth with the Shanghai Dragons and the Dallas Fuel and sort of talk about my experience with both of those teams from 2018, and Custa was born. That's it for this video. We have another toilet bowl around the corner. I am planning on watching the Houston versus Boston 7-map banger in a best-of-5 series. That is going to be on the docket next. It's time to start watching some classics that weren't so great. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time.